Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is Brianna. You've made it to the Kiki and Kibit's Real Housewives of New Jersey podcast. And here I am with my co host, Nobody. That's right, my co host, Nobody. Nobody wanted to do this podcast with me. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Anyway, so rather than disappoint everyone, I've decided to give this a shot by myself. I've never done a solo podcast before, and I'm super nervous about it. Hopefully, I can make this interesting. I hope that you will give me your feedback and help me get better. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I didn't want to leave you guys all hanging. So here I am by myself. Maybe Brad will join me sometimes. I'm not sure. We've had some changes at Kiki and Kibitz, and what can I say? Life goes on. But I'm here, and I wanted to talk to you about Real Housewives of New Jersey. So I'm nervous, but my goal is for you to feel like you and I are hanging out and shooting the shit about the Jersey girls. Because I don't know about you, but I have no one to talk to about Real Housewives of New Jersey. And frankly, that's how this all got started to begin with, Kiki and Kibitz, because no one I know watches reality TV. So I'm speaking into a microphone out there to all of you in the ether, and I hope that you will listen. Give me your feedback. Be nice because I'm very insecure, but help me get better at it. And who knows, maybe this will work out. But I want you to feel like you're included. So here you are, right next to me in this empty chair. And let's talk about the Jersey girls. So I'm excited about this show because I'm connected to New Jersey. So not only did I live there for a long time, but my son was born there. I have a lot of relatives there, and some are still there. Some have moved to Florida where old Jews go to die. But I feel this connection. In fact, my aunt lives very close to Teresa. So how could I let them all down, right? Even though I've lived in California for a long time. But, from a distance, what I can say is that now I can really see how fabulously distinct the culture is in New Jersey. At the time, I felt a little bit isolated living there. I didn't quite feel that I fit in. And now that I've lived in California for a long time, I feel very sentimental about New Jersey. I miss a lot of things about it. For example, the food. And in case you don't live in New Jersey or on the East Coast, it's things like you go to a potluck, you bring very large trays of baked ziti with ricotta cheese and mozzarella and things like that, which in California nobody eats, right? Because nobody eats carbs and everybody's either vegan or low carb, who knows. But I just miss little things about that. I miss their accents. I miss some of the expressions. Anyway, the Jersey girls are back, bitches. And here we are, right? Anyway, so let's jump right into it. I thought it was an interesting episode because it felt like it started in the middle. Did anyone else feel that way? Like for a minute, I was like, did I miss the first episode? Because we just kind of started. Like we zoom in and suddenly we're just touring all of the different. I felt like we were touring from house to house, but we're sort of visiting all of the different places and seeing what everyone is doing, but there's no background, there's no flashbacks. It's just like suddenly here we are at this person's house, and suddenly here we are at that person's house, which was kind of interesting. And my first impression was we zoom in on the Aiden's house and we see Jennifer and Bill talking. And, I like Bill Aiden. He seems like in some ways, he seems like a really good guy, and I loved him last last season with the other guys. Like he seems like he's a genuinely good person. But when we flash on him this time, my distinct impression was like he has an evil laugh. He's like, and when you combine that with his looks, he's sort of a little bit of an evil vampire. But I shouldn't I shouldn't put too much on that. Like he really does seem like a nice and one of the nicer men. I think one of my issues is with him is that he's so indulgent of his wife, Jennifer, and I cannot stand her. Now, if you're married, like you should stand by your woman and you should stand by your man. So I mean, I guess that's a good quality, but something I guess because I don't like her so much, it makes it difficult for me to like him. Then we go to Dolores's house. Dolores, and she's showing Frank the scars from her butt lift, which was kind of interesting because she was also showing her front side. Now, I had a tummy tuck, so I have those kind of front scars too, but I was like, okay, what did they do to her butt? Like I know about Brazilian butt lift, but it didn't look like she had like a Brazilian butt lift involves fat transfer usually from some other part of your body into your butt. And it didn't look quite like that. It looked like her, I don't know, the scars looked like maybe they lifted it up. I didn't even know that was a thing, but all I can say is whatever she had done, I want it done too. Like, I think she is so beautiful. I really do. And then we go to Teresa's house, and she's talking on the phone to Gia. They're FaceTiming. And I should have looked this up, but like, where is Gia? Is she away at college or something? And she's anyway, everyone's talking about the party and how they're worried about going and they're nervous. I get the feeling they haven't hung out for a long time. And Gia's saying, just drink some tequila, mom. And I'm thinking, like, why doesn't my kid say that to me? Although I did just drink 2 shots of straight rum to get ready for this because I'm so nervous. But like, someone call Dylan and tell him he should tell his mom to drink tequila more often instead of don't drink tequila, mom. And then we go to Margaret's house, and all I can think is like, why are she and Jennifer still on the show? I know a lot of people like Margaret, like they think she has a lot of good one-liners and stuff, but like I don't like Trout Mouth and I wish she wasn't on the show. I can't explain exactly what I don't like about her, but maybe just everything. If you like Margaret, tell me why. I'm just very, very curious. And when I say tell me this, tell me that, you can DM me on Twitter. My handle is not that Brianna, but I'm very, very curious what you think. Why do you like Margaret Joseph? Tell me all about it. And if you like Jennifer Aiden, well, you're the only one in the world. So don't bother telling me. Anyway, so then we get to Melissa's house, and Melissa's talking about Dolores and talking about how she's never seen anyone who hangs out with her ex-husband as much as Dolores. Now, I would not hang out with my fucking ex-husband, but that's a different story. He's a dick. Now, I do know that Frank cheated on Dolores, so I guess he's a dick too. There's my dog walking out the door over there. No one in my family can be quiet at all. I have to banish everyone from the outside, even the dogs. But my feeling about Dolores and Frank is A, I feel like they have a genuine chemistry and they still really love each other. I love their relationship. Like when she's showing him her scars, she's like, I know what you're thinking about my butt, and I know what I have to do to my butt to get it better. And like, I think that Frank is cute. Part of it is his voice. You know, he's got that funny Dolores voice, Dolores. But also, I like his muscles. Like, if you don't look at the veins popping out on his neck, he's kind of cute, right? But he makes me laugh, and he's not like, I don't know. He's again maybe not as bad as some of the Jersey guys. Maybe I just miss these guys. So everyone is they have grace with me at this point. Talk to me in 2 months. I'll probably hate absolutely everyone. So Melissa, though, does anyone besides me think that maybe she had another nose job? And no shade, she's one of the most beautiful people ever. And frankly, like I think I would get a nose job if I could, but my husband would not support this, and my culture would not support this either. Did you guys ever watch Real Housewives? Real Housewives, The Shaws of Sunset, where Asa's talking about she has a lot invested in the Iranian nose. Well, I think my people have a lot invested in the Jewish nose, so I'm not allowed to get a nose job. But if I could, I might. I might, but that's terrible, right? Like in a way, we're just all sort of forced to fit into one mold. But I think Melissa got another nose job. I'm cool with you. She's a very beautiful woman. I'm just saying, I'm making my observations here. Anyway, so everyone's worried about going to this party. I get the feeling they don't see each other a lot in the off season. And this is a party for Evan, Jackie's husband, his 46th birthday, which no one can understand why suddenly at 46 he's having a party. She says, he never lets me have parties for him. And my first impression of this party is Jackie looks amazing. I absolutely love her short, ruffled pink gown. I skipped the part where she's telling she's telling Evan what to wear, and she's like, pop the collar a little bit, unbutton your shirt. There's going to be a lot of Italians there. So true. That is New Jersey completely. She didn't tell him where his gold chains, but she definitely could have. But we look at the party, and my first impression is next to Jackie, who looks amazing in this lovely light pink ruffly dress, and she's gorgeous. See that dog again? Can these dogs not stay still for 5 seconds? I already had to banish the husband out to the backyard. But Jennifer Aiden, what the fuck is she wearing? Like, who wears that shit? The high-necked ochre yellow dress with the crazy cutouts and the big shoulders. Is it me, or is that super 1980s? I hate it. But I mean, again, I hate her. So when we were at that party for a second from the back, I thought Siggy Flicker was there. And I kind of panicked. Like, I do not know. Like, Siggy is crazy. And when she was on the show, I don't think I realized what a whack job she is. But ever since then, and in the last election and stuff, I realized like this chick has a screw loose. And I'm not saying that if you're a Republican that you have a screw loose, but she does. She's one of those crazy conspiracy theory people, and she's just so extreme in a way that freaks me out. And I thought from behind she was there, and I was like, no, I don't want her back on the show. I can't handle it. Anyway, so Jackie's gonna give a toast for her husband, and she's like, I don't want to get too many drinks in before I make this toast, but she's already slurring. Kind of like me. Am I slurring right now? Like I said, I did 2 straight shots of rum before this because I'm so nervous. I'm nervous that everyone's going to hate me. So I'm a little bit like Jackie right now, but she was cracking me up because she's obviously wasted and she's going to make this toast. Anyway, I was like, what is happening here? Is she gonna get revenge on him for never having a party by being all kind of crazy during her toast? It was very amusing. But Teresa is running around this party telling everyone that Evan is cheating with someone at the gym. And I did not understand where this was coming from. Now, granted, I have mostly been a really big pot smoker during my life, so my memory is a little fried. But I can't remember really what Teresa has that's such a huge issue with Jackie, besides the whole she's cut from a different cloth thing, which I still take as code for saying she's not an Italian Catholic like we are. And I cannot tell if maybe there's something that was true. Is this really something that she heard? But she's telling Margaret that Evan, when he goes to the gym, is hanging out with some other woman and he's cheating on her. And Margaret looks horrified and she tells her to shut up and stop running around and saying this and gossiping at Evan's party. And then Teresa wanders off and runs around and is telling everyone that Evan is cheating at the gym. Now, I guess I'm a little bummed because I have this terrible feeling that this entire season is going to be all about Teresa telling people Evan's cheating and Jackie being mad because Teresa's telling everyone that Evan's cheating. And I swear to you, if this entire season is about that, this podcast is going to go for like 2 episodes because that is going to get boring really, really fast. Anyway, so then we switch to Dolores and we're looking at Dolores. And did I mention that if I could look like anyone on this show, I would look like Dolores? I mean, I said whatever she is having done to her, but I want it done too. But she has that beautiful sort of caramel colored skin and she has those great teeth. Like, I think she's an absolutely stunningly beautiful woman, but it is more than that, too. One thing I like about Dolores is that she's tough. Like, she was a prison guard and stuff. So I kind of like that about her. But I like that she's feminine. I like that she's tough. But again, am I the only one who feels like maybe I have amnesia? Because I'm not sure. I can now no longer remember what I love and what I hate about everyone except for Jennifer and Margaret. It's more like I feel like once I remember, I'm not going to like Dolores that much anymore. But right now, I'm like, Dolores, I missed her. And even Teresa. But like, here was something I was saying today. Teresa was obnoxious for running around and doing this at his party. Even if it was true, like take people aside at another time and tell them about it. But I still love Teresa. And I know I'm not the only one. I can already see that we've got like the Teresa camp and the Jackie camp, and everyone's going to take it aside and decide whose side were they on. But for some reason, Teresa can do absolutely horrendous things, and I still like her. And it might just be because she reminds me of my Aunt Susan, but I'm not absolutely sure. And if you tell my Aunt Susan that, I will kick your ass. Do not tell her. She would not like it very much. I do think that Dolores is one of the more honest housewives. Like, I don't think that she's fake in any way. She's open to an extent that it could be destructive. I'm not saying I'm like that, but I might be like that. Like, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of you. I'm a hothead. I might ruin our relationship accidentally, but I seriously do not mean to do it. And I feel like Dolores is a little bit like that. And I feel that Teresa is a little bit like that. So say what you will about Teresa. She can be absolutely appalling sometimes, but you have to admit there's something about a person who what you see is what you get. I value that. I think honesty is very, very important. Anyway, so as we're flat, the other thing I wanted to tell you is that I miss some of these. I miss some of the expressions that we use in New Jersey. Like it has been a long time since I've heard anyone saying, "We're going down to the shore. We're going down the shore." That's what Melissa says. They're going to have this party and go down to shore. No one says that any place else in the world but in New Jersey. Then we are cutting to we're cutting back and forth in time, which makes it a little bit difficult to weave the narrative of this episode. But we're cutting to Margaret in her house, and her remodel is finally almost done after God knows how many seasons. Joe is finally doing the remodel. And all I have to say is, I am not sure why we waited so long because that is the tackiest fucking decor I've ever seen in my life. And that wallpaper is absolutely hideous. But Marge Sr. comes over, and that's when I realize Margaret Joseph needs to leave the show and Marge Sr. needs to come on as a housewife. Now, if Jordan was here, which he is not, he would say that there should probably be a show with Marge Sr., Tinsley's mother, Dale, and Mama D. And I would agree with you. But Marge Sr. is hilarious. So see you later, Margaret. Let's have Marge Sr. instead. Anyway, we're the next morning. See, I skipped forward in time and I missed that. See how this podcast thing is going? I don't know if I'm going to be very good at this. I'm going to do my best. So it's the next morning. That's when Marge Sr. comes by. And Margaret's telling her all about the party last night, and she was talking about how drunk Joe was. And then we get this flashback of Margaret's husband, Joe, which, by the way, apparently you can only be on this show if your husband's name is Joe. And he's leaning up against a tree and puking, which I think kind of takes skill. Like, I don't know who does that. Like, I don't know that I could stand straight up and puke and not get it all over me. So there is something to say for that. But I thought that was super amusing. By the way, I just want to say that he is also one of the less offensive New Jersey husbands. Like, let's think this through. Joe Judice, see you later. Arrivederci. Not sorry you're gone. Joe Gorga, I don't know. He has his charms, but come on, it's Joe Gorga. Then we've got Margaret's husband, Joe. He is a much nicer guy than she deserves, in my opinion. And again, Bill Aiden is a nice guy, but he's with Jennifer, which just, well, actually, if you think about it, we have these two nice husbands with these two completely, to me, offensive women. So what does that say? So then we cut to the Aiden's house, and everyone's coming over for a meal. And I look around this table, and I can't stand any of those people at all. None of them, not one of the Aidens except for Steven. Now, this is the only part where Jennifer redeemed herself to me last season, was that she stands up for her brother Steven, who's gay and is a choir director and a music director. And good for you, girl, because that is tough. She comes from a Middle Eastern family. Her mother is not that comfortable with the fact that her son is gay, but Jennifer stands up for him. More power to you, girl. We have to stand up for everyone. And Steven's also really, really cool. Okay, can you see that we're having a new cast evolve here? I'm going to get rid of Margaret and keep Marge Sr. Get rid of Jennifer Aiden. Keep Steven. Okay, here we go. This is my dream cast. Anyway, so then we cut back to Dolores, and she's talking on the phone to Frankie. Hi, Frankie. And she's talking to Frankie. And then suddenly we learn that Frankie is living at David's house, her boyfriend David. Now, David is a fucking weenie. Here's another guy that I am fine with saying goodbye to. In fact, I really think these Jersey women should call me so we could talk about their choices, because this is not okay. Anyway, so I cannot for the life of me figure out, why is Frankie living at David's besides the fact that it's clean, because that's all we got from this. But I enjoy the relationship between Dolores and Frankie. And maybe it's because it's a little bit like mine with my son Dylan. Now, I don't know if this is like a Jersey thing, probably not, but like some of us Jersey women, we have relationships with our sons where we put them way up here. So it's like the men are way down here, but our sons are way up here on a pedestal. But if you met my son, you would understand, and he's better than Frankie. I have a cousin named Frankie. Did I mention that? Guys, I'm kind of buzzed. I'm so nervous right now. Even though you're not here, I feel like you're all here. So Jackie finds out about this terrible rumor that Teresa's been spreading at the party. And I feel really bad for her. Like, first we do this tour, and mostly all of the men are hungover the next day. But when we see Jackie, she looks like she has been through a war. And I feel really bad for her. Like, no one deserves that. Now, maybe he is cheating. I don't know. But like, to run around someone's husband's party telling everyone that he's cheating on her, that's pretty low. Very, very low. And I mean, how many years was it that everyone was accusing Joe, Teresa's husband, Joe, ex-husband now? Are they divorced? Joe DiGite of cheating on her, and she's running around asking for the receipts. Like, did you see him fucking that girl? No. Well, then you can't say anything. Well, all I want to know is, Teresa, where are the receipts? Show us the receipts. Maybe she does. Maybe she does have some. I'm interested in what you have to say about this. I can't decide. Is she just being petty or does she really have something on Evan? And I also don't know why I want her to be wrong. I don't know why. Like, Evan seems like a nice guy, but like, of course, nice guys cheat too, and nice women cheat too. I have no reason for this. I feel like I choose teams for all of the wrong reasons, but yeah. Anyway, so these guys are gonna have a little come to Jesus meet. Can you see my dog? Mojo just wants to be in the shot. I'd like to tell you he's a Jersey dog, but he's not. He's a California dog. So Jackie wants to confront Teresa. And Teresa's tough. Dolores is tough, but Teresa is tough. So I think you kind of got to be pretty brave and tough to confront Teresa. You know, they get together and Jackie's going to tell her that that was a horrible thing to do, to run around this party gossiping and saying things about her husband. And we're having all these little flashbacks about Teresa, we're having flashbacks about Jackie, and right here is where I need to give you a little bit of an aside. I don't know how many of you watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Jen Shaw throwing the glass, and the whole time she was throwing that glass, like they had a million different flashbacks of the glass throwing. All I could think was, girl, take some lessons from Teresa, because you need some wrist action to be good at that. Like, you're going to throw a glass, like put some wrist into that shit. Jen Shaw did it with her shoulder. And that's how you know whether the girl is from Jersey or not. I don't know what these Utah women do, but if you're from Jersey, you're better at glass throwing than that, and table flipping. Not saying I've ever flipped a table, but I'm also saying it's not too late for me to flip a table. So Teresa's saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know where the smoke or the fire is coming from in this case. And I have a feeling we're going to have many, many weeks of finding out. But I thought the confrontation was funny. And now here we go with the controversy of the episode. And I'm sure the controversy of the season. Hope it gets a little deeper than this. Jackie's trying to make the point that you can't just go hurling accusations around and not be thinking about the ramifications of it. Now, like, you're saying Evan is cheating. For those of you who are married, you know how big this can be. They have 4 little kids. These are things that can wreck families. There are big implications. So Jackie says to her, well, Teresa's like, I heard it. I heard it somewhere. I heard it. And Jackie's like, well, I heard that Gia was snorting coke upstairs at a party. And boom, here we go. Teresa's head explodes. Now, I'm not saying mine wouldn't. Say one fucking thing about my kid, we're going to have a whole lot more than table flipping going on. Like, a lot more than table flipping. But Teresa flips out, and now it's all about, how could you say that? Don't talk about my daughter. Don't talk about my daughter. I saw Margaret Joseph on Twitter today saying it was an analogy. And people are all up in arms about that. Do you agree or do you not? I do not think she was saying Gia has been snorting coke at people's parties. What she was trying to do was to drive home the point that you can't just go hurling accusations around about innocent members of people's families. Now, of course, you shouldn't about the children either, but I do not think that that's what Jackie meant. Was it bad judgment for her to say that? Yes. Yes, it was. I think she could have probably found a better analogy. Do I understand what she was saying? Yes. Yes, I do. Do not fuck with my family. Do not, to quote Caroline Manzo, we are thick as thieves. Don't say it about my husband. Don't say it about my kid. Bitches, we gonna have some problems. And there's gonna be a lot of problems. Anyway, this argument goes on. It's out of control. And as Teresa's walking away, Jackie's going, I win. I win. And I do not think she won. I mean, did anyone really win? If you think Jackie won, let me know, but I don't think so. And also, why are we always all on Teresa's side? I love her. I'm kind of on her side too, a little bit. I don't want to be. I don't want to be that unfair. Like Jackie did nothing to warrant this as far as I can see, but let me know. Send me a DM. Let me know what you think. But so then here we go with the see you next Tuesday comment. See you next Tuesday, bitch. And of course, that's the name of the episode. See my other dog? Do you get the feeling that my entire dog family wants in on this podcast? I have no co hosts, but I have two dog hosts. I wish they could talk and fill in some of the quiet space here. And there they go. Yes. I wish I had some baked ziti. I'm really hungry. Are you hungry? I wish you were here with me too. Anyway, so then Teresa's taking off, and as she's going out, we're getting the beep, 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 beep with the raised hand. And this is where I realized this is where I like Teresa. Because, like Teresa, I have a switch. And when it goes off, we've got a problem. I can't censor myself. I can't stop myself. I I wish I did. I think that I admire people who can, but at the end of the day, I'm a hothead like Teresa. And if you start fucking with me, come for my family and I'm coming for you, bitches. And that's where we get to the end of the episode. It felt like a really short episode. Maybe a lot of it is because we were basically catching up and trying to remember where everyone is and what's going on. What I do know about this season is we're gonna hear a lot about these marriages. Now, poor Teresa and Joe, they broke up, although frankly, I'm happy for her. Like, get away from that man. He's not a good one. But I did hear Melissa interviewed, and I know that she and Joe go through a lot during the season. And she's saying, we've been on this show for how many years is it? Season 9, right? No, season 11. Season's been on for a long time. And she's saying we've fought hard and it's really, really difficult to be a reality TV couple, which it must be. Like, I cannot imagine doing that, having your entire relationship under scrutiny and having the whole world looking at you and commenting on you and your nose job and your surgical procedures and your husband's baldness spray and your sex life, and that sounds really rough. She says that they're fighting for their marriage, and of course Jackie and Evan are fighting for their marriage. I heard Jackie interviewed, and she's saying, you might think my marriage looks very perfect from the outside, but if it's anything but, and we go through some big challenges this season. And I've been married and divorced and married and maybe divorced and married. Like, I get it. Okay. I get it. It's not easy. And I was going to say, I admire people who can do this on reality TV. And I'm not exactly sure I admire them. Maybe I admire their ability to put themselves out there in front of the world, because that seems like they have a lot of self confidence. But one thing I can tell is that your marriage and your families, they pay a little bit for this. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of this season. I hope not too bad. Anyway, if I'm rooting for anyone, I might be rooting for Jackie and Evan, because say what you will about Jackie. Maybe you don't like her. There are definitely things not to like about Jackie, like her father, but that's a different story. Um, but she does seem in a lot of ways some of the to be one of the least offensive reality TV stars. Although maybe this is a season where we're going to see all kinds of controversy about her too, but I haven't seen it yet so far. So, this is the part of the podcast where I tell you, let me know what you think. I'm sure my opinions are not unique. I'm sure that people are going to have beef with some of my opinions, and I am cool with that, because unlike a reality TV couple, you are not here with me and we are not married. So if I don't like what you have to say, I will just break up with you. I'm just I'm glad if you stayed here till the end of this podcast. I admire you a lot. Help me get better, but be nice to me. I'm very, very insecure. I'm too insecure to be on reality TV. If you're listening to this on audio and you want to see my designer red flannel shirt, which is by my favorite designer, which is Old Navy, then head over to Instagram and you can see the entire video podcast. If you're watching this on video, don't bother to go listen to the audio because it's exactly the same and you won't see my exciting red flannel shirt. But if you did make it to the end, I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know if you think I should do this again. If none of you come back next week, then hey, I'll just give it up. And if you have any great ideas for other co-hosts besides my dog Mojo, let me know because we seem to be having a shortage of Kiki and Kibit's co-hosts this week. Anyway, take good care, everyone. And if all goes well, I will see you back here again next time. Bye.